He say, she say, we say, I say, hearing out them points of views when I see it my way. Yes it goes, yes it knows, maybe so's, probably not. Shoulds and coulds, do's and don'ts, your wills and won'ts is how you rock. Politicians and religions, on your house or are you renting? Is you married? Is you single? Meta interest when you mingle, turn out to be someone you into. So how long before the bed get wrinkled? Raising children when they tripping, is it time out or do you whip them? Opinions and decisions, hunches, intuitions, may or may not get it, cause people's experience different. Check the prejudice at the door. Speak your mind, you get the flow. Tell the truth if it's sweet or sour, cause the hour we spittin' that fire.
Ooh, hey y'all, I had to wait till they go to bed. Ooh, I had to wait till they go to bed to get on here. You know I ain't supposed to be on here, right? So I had to come on here, right? So I was like, oh, they all in the bed. I was waiting on them because my daughter was in her room and my husband was in the bedroom. I was like, okay, I hope they asses go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? So I just been on people. I know I'm not on there watching TV, but I wanted to come on here so bad earlier today, right? So bad. Make sure y'all get the lights up. Hey, y'all, come on in. Come on in, 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 come on in. Look, now listen. I got something to say about this now. I got something to say about this. Now, what's going on with him? Now, he's taunting the viewers because the callers have said that they wanted him to be terminated. That's what they said. They said he should be fired. Do you think Don Lemon should be fired as Kumo got fired for helping his brother? Do you think Don Lemon should be fired for tipping off Smollett? Do you think so? Because he feels like this. Prove it. Prove it. And if I was Smollett, if he texts you or something, I would be like, it's in the text. They can go back and track that time and everything. Yeah, it's only been a couple years. That time, 2019. I hope somebody in law enforcement really, 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 happy holidays, really, really, really look into that. And I hope they leak that text message. I hope somebody finds it. Because, listen, let me show y'all on this Instagram post. And I talked during this Instagram post, okay? I did a pre-video and I inserted it into this live, okay? So let's take a listen to this. Let's take a listen. All right. Posted this and he seems like to be bothered with it. It seems like he posted this picture when people were saying that he was going to get terminated from CNN and that, he's next on the chopping block or whatever. But, he posted this picture with his smile on his face and letting people know that he is not bothered with, in the midst of people calling CNN wanting him to be terminated. And so for, helping Jussie Smollett, which he says was a lie, but we kind of know that, you're lying on that. So someone posted this, and I would not even try to pronunciate this name. However, they said this: CNN, okay, propagandized the Black Lives Matter narrative, which was a fraud. The narrative intentionally lowered the standards of what constitutes a victim of racism to the point of criminal who fought with the police otherwise resist arrest. This lowered the standard guarantees through statistical inavailability a constant supply of such victims and politically weaponized the fraudulent narrative of systemic racism orchestrated by the perpetual victimhood culture. I could not agree more. Okay. And then there was something else I did. I thought yesterday you stated you were off social media. Oh, and then someone said, call Smollett, he wants to come with you. People going to mention it. They say, are you with Kumo or is Jussie? LOL. And then the other one says, Hopefully the next CNN hit list, he said texting criminals to let them know the police are investigating them at CNN is the type of behavior you promote. And I noticed that when I sit up there and go on CNN, like they don't even touch too much of the Jussie Smollett case other than he was found guilty, right? But they won't talk about nothing about the text messages or anything like that. I just find that to be very problematic. And it says, have you been feeding into Jussie Smollett to influence his trial at Don Living at CNN? So, you know, of course he's not replying to these messages or whatever. Thank you for helping Jussie pull off his scandal. Oh my God, you in trouble, fire. Like, they are really coming in on him. Because it's like you just throwing up in your face, and we know. It said, no more hands off. I love you, man, to Fredo, LL. Ooh, call him Fredo. Oh, they talk about, oh my God. And then, let's see, went to San Francisco. Cool, but a little, I don't know. I thought it would be more. Okay, let me see. Let me see. You need to lay low. Now that you found out helping Desmond orchestrate a fake hate crime, they caught your buddy Kumo. You're next. Oh my God. Oh my God. They coming in. And the other one said, I hope you get fired and lose your pension next. Oh my God, they are going in on him, y'all. They are going in on the lemon head. Oh my God. They are going in on the lemon head. Oh my goodness, they are going in on the lemon head. They was not playing. Ooh. One that said, listen to you doing biting. 5 cents a gallon ain't shit, boy. You funny. They are going in, y'all. They had some really bad ones that I couldn't even show you guys. But, you know, he put it out there then. You know, he deleted some of them because it was so bad. It was worse than this. Cancel this, man. It was worse than this. Like, they really ripped him another a-hole, which he probably would like it. But anyway, no, I'm just joking. That was just a joke, y'all. That was just a joke. Okay, maybe a bad one, but that was just a joke. Oh my gosh. Let's get into it. Oh my God. So you heard what I said on there. Now the thing of it is, I want to ask y'all a question. Do you think that he is protected? Do you think that he is protected by the community? Do you think that Don Lemon is protected by the community if he doesn't get terminated? You know, does he have a level of protection now because of the LGBTQ community? I mean, because, look, I'm not saying that I want a black man to be terminated. What I'm saying is we know that 10 years ago, they would not let go. No place like CNN or any news anchor would have let go. 2 men do the same crime. It wouldn't have been the white man let go, back at just a few years back. So what would make him stay? And not that it's wrong with it on the fact of race. I hope I'm saying this correctly. I may not be saying this correctly, but bear with me, okay? Because I'm trying to get it out without, saying it incorrectly. But it seems like to me now your sexual orientation trump race now. I think that it's going to be a real big issue because when you go against the majority and they realize that they have fallen to another group of people that is not a different race like black, Asian or whatever, but it's somebody's lifestyle, that's going to be problematic. Once they really realize and sit back and analyze some stuff, they're going to be like, wait a minute. Okay, now we the majority. You know what I'm saying? We had all the privilege. Now, when do we get this up? Well, you gave this up June, especially January 20th, 21st, when it was inauguration. That's the day you gave it up. That's the day you gave it up, because that's the day that there was a new president that was far left. And that was the day. And then after that, the first 30 days, he went on an LGBT tour across the seas and countries and things to promote and try to get other countries to accept. And if they didn't, he was going to sanction them. Like, what does someone's lifestyle have to do with business and trading? What does that have to do with that? What does that have to do with import and exports? What does that have to do with economics? What does your lifestyle have to do with economics? What does it have to do with economy? I mean, that's what I don't understand about that president. Like, I'm a registered Democrat. I want everyone to understand that I am a registered Democrat, but I have not been happy with the Democrats for a while. And for a while. And I really haven't been happy with them when they start coming after my black men. Any man, not just my black men, but men, period. White men, too. But because I'm a black woman, of course I'm going to say my black men, right? You know what I'm saying? How can I look being a black woman advocating for white men? But men in general. But particularly my black men, because I know that they're 7 times more likely to be stereotyped, to have some inequalities and things like that, especially with the law. So when you have a group of people, a party that's helping put them away and told them believe women and that they're liars and, you know, all these type of things, especially when she was the one helped doing it, and now she's the vice president of the United States and very arrogant about it. Very arrogant about it, she is. I'm just not a fan of Kamala. I did not vote Democrat this go around because I'm not a fan of Kamala. And everybody's like, oh, we got to vote for her because she's a woman. And maybe 8 years ago, I would have done that. You know what I mean? Like for race or gender, I would have done that because I was so heavy far left. But as I did research and things like that and just really realized what was going on since 2018, I have not been happy. I haven't been happy. I've been seeing things what they really were, and I have not been happy. I have to literally swallow that pill. Like, I've had so many conversations with people that's on the right side and the left side, and I had to tell the right side that they were right on this particular president and this administration. Yeah, they were pretty much right on this. I never thought that I would be saying this. Like, if I had a shirt that say Trump is not my president, my fucking president. That's how far left I was. Like, the Democrats couldn't do no wrong. But then I start getting into this case and looking at how men been treated and this Me Too times up. I've been studying them for a while. Even before I start speaking on Bill Cosby and R. Kelly, I've been studying this Me Too times up stuff. And when Oprah did that speech, Time's Up, everybody was so talking about it. The only thing I liked about that night was her dress and her hair and those glasses. But her speech, when she said that speech, I knew this was the beginning of something ugly. Everybody seen, oh, they stood up and they was talking about her speech, but for some reason, it sent chills through my body. I was like, oh my God, men are under attack. And that was the first time I actually said that men were under attack. As a matter of fact, when I first started saying that men were under attack, it was, let me see. It was a while ago. I think it was, I'm trying to find out. I did it, I think it was in 2019, early 2019, or 2018. I think it was 2018. But I really started putting pictures out before then. I really started letting people know that men were under attack even before then, because they were. You know what I mean? And then I came out with something called Muting is Bullying, and that was with R. Kelly. But I'll often let people know that men been under attack. You know what I mean? Men been under attack. It wasn't no, I don't understand why I'm the only one talking about it. I don't understand why I'm the only one that noticed that they're under attack. They don't even think that they're under attack. You know what I mean? They don't even think they're under attack because I was often putting up this sign right here. I put this up. As a matter of fact, it's in my intro. Before my picture show, it says men are under attack. You are under attack. You are under attack. And what they would do when they attack you is that they're not just attacking you, just not with the law or anything else. When you are a public figure, when you make something of yourself, if you say some things that they do not like, they will slander you. They will start coming at you. They will try to cancel you or whatever. And they will put a rumor on you. They will put a rumor on you that has not been, you know what I mean? They will put a rumor on you. And one of the rumors they will put on you, okay, is something that's above the men are under attack sign. It's the circle. It's the rainbow. They will do that. You know what I mean? Because I've seen that happen. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but a few years ago, when they would start running these gay ads to try to get people to accept the culture, they were talking about, and it was Wanda Sykes in an infomercial. I wouldn't say a commercial, but it was more like an infomercial because they were trying to give you information about what to do and what not to do and what's okay and what's not what's not okay. And remember when people were saying back in the day, they was like, "Oh, that's so gay," and people were going around saying it, and straight people were saying it like, "Oh my God, that is so gay," and so they started having these infomercials about it. You misspelled Summer of Looney. I don't know. I don't know if you're talking to me. But anyway, they had these infomercials. And Wanda Sykes was talking about well, that's so straight. Or that's so this. Like, they didn't want people to say that's so gay anymore, right? So people start not saying that because gay people were starting to get offended when you say that's so gay. You know what I mean? So they wouldn't do that. But if you notice, people that are in the acronym of the LGBT will often use that very same thing as a weapon. But who would they use it as a weapon against? Straight men. If you want to bash a man's character, assassinate his character, his brand, everything else, put out rumors on him, and then put a gay rumor on him. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, that's interesting, because I spoken of that when I was talking about R. Kelly, right? When I was talking about R. Kelly, I said, wait a minute, this doesn't seem right? So I said, now, we heard rumors about R. Kelly liking young women, underage women. We heard about the P tape and the sex tape. We heard about all these things for many years, right? But no one has ever said anything about him being gay until this trial. No one has ever said anything. So when you want to make a person look so bad and the worst that they can possibly be, especially a heterosexual man like him, they will put a gay rumor on you. And it was so funny about it, the government will do it as well. The government will do it as well. The government will do it as well. And I think that's problematic. Like, I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. We never heard these rumors for 30 years. The young girls is one thing, but now these rumors, and then when it went from young girls, then when they realized the young girls all these women weren't young, Then they said women and young girls. And then they threw some John Does in there. And you guys, when I tell you about the transcript, one of them testified, oh yeah, he sucked me off. He tried to make it seem like R. Kelly sucked him. He's the mega star, but you gonna say he did you. Y'all, and when he testified, you guys, it was not believable. On no circumstance. This is why I said the government is as corrupt as they can be, especially in New York. I don't understand why they making sure they get these celebrities prosecuted in New York. But we as citizens, because they can be, if they can get them, you guys ain't got no chance in hell. They can get you for whatever they want to get you and when they want to get you. Please get the likes up. Thank you. I appreciate it. They can get you for what you want whenever you want. If the average Joe, if R. Kelly and Bill Cosby going through all this and Cuba and all them going through all of this, what do you think you got coming as a regular man? And as a regular man, that if you get money, your woman go take you down and just can charge a rape on you. Just can charge a rape on you. You know, I find it to be very problematic. Like, when we don't like someone, it's easy for you to believe the scandal of people. I don't like a lot of people, but I tell the truth. I like to believe that I'm one of the people that's going to tell the truth. Like, people tell me things about people and they'll say, oh, well, this person was this and this person was that. And they think that because I don't like them, I'm supposed to go along with it. I'm not going to go along with a lie on nobody. I'm not going to go along with a lie. It doesn't matter if I don't like that person. I'm not going to tell a lie because I don't like them. And so the other day I was watching Unwind with Tasha K. I was watching Unwind with Tasha K. And I found it so problematic that, and then let me put her up here because I'm talking about her, okay, as commentary, okay, and she was one of the people that started this whole mess, all right? So I was a wino at one time. I was a wino at one time. I did like Tasha K. I didn't like her when she started going in on him. And the reason why I didn't like that is, I didn't care about her going in on him, but I didn't like it when she started saying she was going to notify Homeland Security and all this and that. And I'm just like, no, I don't think she really going to do that. I don't like, But I pulled away because I was like, why would you do that? And you a blogger. You like, why would you cross the line like that? But at the time, I didn't know nothing about the R. Kelly documentary, and I was in development of Spittinfire. So I didn't know the in-depths of what her sources was at that time. I did not know the in-depths of her sources. And I didn't know who they was. I was just a sub on her channel at that time. And you know what I'm saying? And she was growing. She didn't even have 100,000 then. And she was growing and everything else. And now she's a mega YouTuber, right? And next thing you know, she was talking real ill. And I was like, oh, I don't like this. Because these were accusations. And I don't like tearing down our own on accusations. Like I will, you know, as a blogger, put a story out. You know, whether it's I wouldn't say just scandal or whether it's just gossip or whatever. You do your job as a gossip, you know, blogger or whatever. But when it comes to being salacious and vindictive and malicious, and it was just like she was just throwing a knife and twisting it. I'm like, whoa, wait, we can't be doing our men like this, right? So then, come to find out, she was interviewing people, and it was getting good though. So I'm like, ooh, R. Kelly, you know you wrong, because I said it. I mean, he ain't the first guy that even if he was a womanizer or had a lot of women or a playboy or whatever, he ain't the first guy. But you have to ask yourself, is that a crime? You know what I'm saying? Like, it seems like with these women liberation movement, and all these women organizations, people don't know what a crime is anymore. Being a playboy, being an asshole, and all those things are not a crime. Okay? It's not a crime. You know what I mean? Look how many assholes we know in the world. Look how many assholes we know in the world. Look how many assholes we know. Look how many assholes in our family. Just think about the assholes we know that's in our family, right? So she got to talking about, R. Kelly, and she got to talking about some other things, and she got to talking about, him with underage girls and all this and that. And then she got to, one of the accusers, she went to social media and she was talking about her Geronda Pace. And she got to talking about Geronda, but Geronda's story changed like 50 million times since Tasha K interviewed her in 2017. But that was the beginning of the parents coming forward to start this massive rumor that led to him being incarcerated, right? And it's so much, you guys. It's so much, okay? It's so much to show you on this. And we're going to get back to talking about the gay rumors because I want to show you guys something on that. But in that gay rumors and stuff like that, let me see what I want to show you guys. I want to show you guys the Savages. Let me see. Did I do a breakdown on them? Hold on, let me see. Did I do a breakdown on them? Because I think I did a breakdown on Joycelyn Savage parents when they was in the church with Jamal Bryant, Pastor Jamal Bryant. And I thought that was problematic because of the inner circles into which they all were with each other. Like, you get what I'm saying? It's like, okay, if I'm thinking that my daughter is trafficked and you a parent, you thinking your daughter is trafficked, and we're like on different sides of the globe or in different states and everything, I find it that their circle is so small. You get what I'm going with this? And I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. Like, if you really pay attention to it, right? I'm going to show you this right here a little bit more. I'm going to show you this, okay? Pay attention to this. I'm going to show you the parents, but I'm going to show you this, and then I'm going to ease into the Savages. How about that? I'm going to show you what I want to show you, and then I'm going to ease into the parents. And then I'm going to ease into the gay rumors and stuff like that, and about heterosexual men and connect that, okay? I'm going to do it like that. That's how I'm going to do it. So let me run this clip down with you again to give you an understanding of what I was talking about. I played it, I think, yesterday or the day before, but I'm going to play it again. Okay, so let's take a listen.
We just finished the watch party for Surviving R. Kelly: The Reckoning. I wanted to get your thoughts and what did you think about the project?
I feel completely depleted and invigorated at the same time. Just the daunting reality of how it's impacting our community, our families, and our culture, but also to know that the family of people like you are committed to the fight. I believe that a change is going to happen.
And what do you think we need to do going forward to have this conversation with the church as well as with black men in general about the issues of sex trafficking and the issues that are going on in our community?
The Bible already gave the prescription. Our people die from a lack of knowledge. I think that what has to happen now is to raise awareness, do larger group viewings like we did on tonight, with prayerfully more men to really get to the heartbeat of where the dysfunction rests.
We definitely appreciate you coming.
Okay, so now, as I said the other night, I have never known somebody to go to the extent to a man. He was already locked up at this time, y'all. I think when they did the reckoning, when they did this video, I think R. Kelly was already incarcerated a year. Because this is going on 2022 going on 3 years. So he was already detained a year. So what was the purpose of having a watch party? What was the purpose? It just was an overkill. So that was Gerald Griggs, who was the NAACP that was asking the questions, to the one in the red and black, which was Pastor Jamal Bryant, who is known for having all types of scandal and all types of baby mamas in his church, who is known for that, right? And then Gerald Griggs, okay, I just showed you that. But here, okay, here he is. Here is Gerald Griggs. Let me see. Here is Gerald Griggs with, let me see. Let me look for him. Every time I come on here, I don't be thinking that I'm going to do this. Here is he with Charlamagne the God on the Breakfast Club. And the guy, I think this is like his publicist or something in the gray suit or whatever. And with Angela Yee in the Breakfast Club, okay? All right? And that's him with Charlamagne the God. Now, he's supposed to did this watch party, right? Because to bring awareness about sex trafficking, right? And about people abusing young girls and things, right? Right? Okay. Now, Charlamagne, okay, had some issues of his own, right? And at that time, this stuff already came out with Charlamagne. At this time, the stuff already came out with Charlamagne about how he supposedly had raped Jessica Reed, okay, a beautiful young woman in South Carolina. Back in the day, 2001, it was supposed to take place. And how, he was convicted of something with a minor. But there was a rape kit done, and there was an investigation. And when they took her to the doctor said that there was trauma in the vaginal area. But her mother, when she was on Kwame Brown's back in May, indicated that, she didn't want to put her daughter through that because they still lived in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? And they didn't want her, she didn't want her daughter to have to go through all that, right? She didn't want her daughter to have to go through all of the, the scrutiny or being criticized and everything else because of all this, because she was already ashamed, which we know. Now, that's what real victims really do. Like, they get scared. But as far as the medical reports concerned, it was already in the police documents, okay? Charlamagne is sending out, I have the police document, a copy of it, but he's sending out ceases and desists and trying to sue and everything, but it's out there, okay? Maybe I'll put it out there on the social media or whatever else, but, talk about it through YouTube, he coming at you, right? And so I'm thinking, and it's at South Carolina, okay? South Carolina, you can look that up. His name is Leonard McKelvey, okay? Leonard McKelvey, all right? And you can look that up, 2001 in June. So you guys can go do your own research, okay? Since he's sending out things, cease and desist, y'all can go pull that up and read it for yourselves. Because the whole police report is there in the police document about how there was trauma there. Now, you can't fake those type of things. Like they did a rape kit on her. And they said that there was some rape there, right? And the girl was drugged, okay? She was 15 years old at the time. And Charlamagne, I think, was 22, 23 years old. If not, I know he wasn't no more than 24. And so he wasn't sentenced for the rape part, but he was sentenced to something else with a minor. Delinquency of a minor, I believe that's what it was. Delinquency of a minor. And so he pled it to a lesser charge. And this is how Kwame got the name lesser charge, okay? But there was a report in his original arrest of rape that substantiate rape took place. He went on the Breakfast Club after he did Surviving R. Kelly and said he was exonerated from his because a girl lied on him. She didn't lie on you. She didn't lie on you. You pleaded guilty to a lesser charge, and all the documents, all she had to do was testify, and the doctors was right there. But the mother just pulled her back because she just didn't think that her daughter was mental enough to stand cross-examination. And that's going to be, that's what a real victim is like. That's what real victims go through. That's a real victim. Even though they be saying, okay, I couldn't come forward because I was ashamed. She wasn't ashamed. It's just that the mother thought that she wasn't strong enough to go through that because she was already traumatized. That is a real victim, because we do have a police report immediately, and we do have a rape kit. And there was an investigation of rape at the scene into which it happened, because the police came out and investigated that, right? But I said all that to say, this commentary is not about Charlamagne the God. I said all that to say that Gerald Griggs is standing next to him on this, right in front of this screen right here. How are you talking about R. Kelly when you standing next to a man that assaulted on paper? They just didn't go through with it. Assaulted on paper or pled guilty to a lesser charge with a minor. And that is a conflict of interest. Like, that's hypocritical. Like, how you do that? How you say, okay, R. Kelly, I'm going after R. Kelly, but I'm going to stand next to Charlamagne. It's as if you couldn't go on no other radio station. And then this was after Dream Hampton apologized for having him in Surviving R. Kelly. You can apologize for having him in there, but the fact of remain is it's on Netflix and people seeing it. And Jessica is thinking like, wow, how is he going to pretend like he's helping women or young girls being victimized when he victimized me? And I thought to myself, that was a way for him to taunt her. It seems like to me, allegedly, it seems like to me that's the way he's saying that he's untouchable. That was like a secret message he was giving her. That's how I took it. That's just my opinion. That's how I took it. Like, look at me. You claim that I raped you. Look, I'm in Surviving R. Kelly and I'm talking about, you know what I mean? It's like a taunting, sick type of thing. You know what I mean? It's just like a sick type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh my God. But yet, Gerald Griggs, the one in the bow tie, is standing next to him after he just did a watch party for Surviving R. Kelly. Right? He did a watch party for Surviving R. Kelly, standing next to a man that did the same thing he claiming that R. Kelly did. Like, where they do this at? Where they do this at? Like, come on now. Somebody ain't thinking. Somebody ain't did no thinking. And I'm thinking to myself, the public don't even know this. You guys didn't even know all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you got to know exactly what's going on that the media, mainstream media, don't tell you. This man, Gerald Griggs, has been on CNN, Court TV, talking about R. Kelly. But the public don't know about these in-depth information that they need to know to pass judgment or not, or the correct judgment. The jury don't even know about all these things, because when R. Kelly trial came, she didn't let no defense evidence in whatsoever. Right? Damn near. So it's just crazy as hell. But then let's talk about this video he did at V103. Fair Use Copyright Act of Section 107. Okay. 1976. This is fair use. This is V103. Okay. And now listen, when I play y'all this video right here, pay attention to Tigger. He's not believing his ass not one bit. Pay attention. Okay, because even though y'all hear it on the radio, this is how the expressions be that y'all don't see.
Attorney Gerald Griggs, ATL's own, is in the building. Good morning, sir.
What's going on, guys? Good to see you. Good to see you.
Likewise, brother.
Let's get right to it.
Yeah. Okay.
What is there's lots of information. I mean, a lot of information floating around. What is the current update status? Where are we with the everything?
Well, currently, Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly has no bond, and he's going to be sitting in jail at least till September the 4th when his next status hearing happens. We're still trying to make direct contact with Joycelyn Savage. We've reached out to a representative of Joycelyn Savage, and we're waiting. So the family wants to reconnect with her. They love her. They want her to understand that they've always wanted to reach out to her, and they are happy what is happening in Chicago and what will happen in New York with regard to the charges that Mr. Kelly now faces.
Why? There are a lot of people who question what is going on. Like, you saying I don't know where my daughter is, but she's at the Trump Tower.
Yes.
Allegedly. That she claims she's fine, that Robert may have said or may have not have said that they sold their daughter to him for money. It's all of this, what he say, she say. So, what the reality is that they haven't been able to speak to their daughter, or have they at least spoken to her?
They spoke to her one time for 30 seconds, and that was back in March. And with this he say, she say, it's not a he say, she say. It's Robert versus the federal government. 2 indictments, 13 counts in one, 10 counts in another, 195 years he's facing. It's outlined the level of coercion and intimidation that has been used allegedly at this point, but it's in the indictment. So if you read the Chicago indictment, if you read the New York indictment, the federal indictments, you will understand exactly what's going on here. So I'm not concerned about what Mr. Kelly is saying. I'm concerned about getting a message directly to Joycelyn Savage, the truth, what her family has said from the beginning since August the 4th of 2017. They want direct contact with her. No middle people, no R. Kelly's team. We want to get the truth directly to her, and that's her family, her parents, her sisters, her grandparents, her uncles, her aunts, all want to have communication with her.
So before you jump in, Jay, she hasn't spoken to any of those people.
No.
At all.
That's
Not
insane.
only for 30 seconds at my office after we had a press conference requesting direct contact, and that was a 30-second phone call where she paused after she heard from her younger sister, and she hung up.
Wow.
Ooh. Is there further concern? You saying Kelly's going to be locked up until September. We hearing about them staying up in a condo in Trump Tower in Chicago, and that they may or may not be running out of money, or they may have nowhere to live. Is there increased concern now that he's away for a couple of months?
There's always been increased concern because of the nature of the allegations and the things we've already investigated, and now the federal government has investigated. But what we want them to understand is her family is here. They're ready, willing, and able. They tried a wellness check just last week at the Trump Tower. We can't get contact directly to Joycelyn Savage, so we are trying everything we know how, from, of course, the media to reaching out directly to Mr. Kelly's representatives, now their representatives, and using the...
Okay, so that is the V103. I think that was part 1 of the interview. I'm trying to find part 2. And they went on to ask, it's on YouTube. You guys can go check it out. They went on to ask, they was like, okay, she's 25 years old. Like, what do you mean you can't find your daughter? Like, we know where she is. Why you acting as if you don't know where she is? And so you can see that there was some tension that was building up, if I can find part 2. There was some tension that was building up between Tigger and the attorney, Gerald Griggs, during that time, because he kept saying that she, okay, let me see if this one is, hold on, let me show you. Let me see if this is, hold on.
I heard that there were, between Joycelyn and the other young lady, that there's some sort of suicide pact, that if something happens to R. Kelly, that they would potentially kill themselves. Is there any truth to that?
Well, we're not going to get into rumors or hearsay. We don't know anything about a suicide pact. What we know about is that for almost 3 years, She has not had direct communication with her family, and we want direct communication. And so it would be in Mr. Kelly's best interest at this point and his members of his team to put her in direct contact with her parents, with her family.
You talk about a wellness check.
Yes.
But, you know, we turn on the television and they're sitting there on TMZ. So
Right.
what is the wellness check saying? That they're not there? It's kind of counter to what we see when they're in a room on television.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, how many of you guys check on your children by watching a video of your children?
That's true.
You want to have direct contact. You want to talk to them. You want to make sure they're okay. We want to do this separate and apart from the media. But every time we reach out, we get a scripted video.
Right. And there's no way to tell if it's not being, you know,
We don't
coerced
know-
by him. Exactly.
We don't know when that video was filmed. There's no date stamp, anything on that video.
True.
So my issue is it's very easy to pick up a telephone and call your parents. Their number has not changed. Her number has changed. We don't even know if she has a cell phone.
Wow.
And what I would say about that video is, for the most part, it's Miss Clary speaking. We want a direct line of communication with Joycelyn Savage, between the Savages and Joycelyn Savage. No intermediaries.
All right. So you can see that the woman in that video, of course, they always side with B2 because she thinking that's what. But you seen Tigger's face like, I don't believe none of this shit. All right. And he basically spoke on it on another interview that he did with someone else. Like, no. Like, he was saying, I don't understand how they keep saying that they're missing when he's incarcerated and she's an adult and she's right there. Like, the whole world sees her, you know, and you went around saying these things about the man she loves, and you told all their business, or supposedly, that make her embarrassed, saying she brainwashing everything when she's a grown woman. Well, that may be why she don't want to speak to your ass. You know what I mean? That may be why she doesn't want to speak to your ass. Hey, look, this is just commentary, right? That may be. But then there was some issues talking about some, let me see. So we seen that, let me see. I'm trying to find, it was another clip that I want to show you guys. I want to show you guys another clip, take you back down memory lane or whatever, because it was so much stuff going on. Let me see. No. It was so much stuff going on that they were talking about Azrael and Joycelyn. Now, Azrael and Joycelyn was at the Trump Towers, right? And they were saying that their parents knew exactly where she was. You know, like, I'm not bothered by them. Like, they knew exactly where I am and everything else. Like, I am not finna sit up here and let y'all believe something as crazy as that, but people were believing it. You guys were believing it. You know, at the beginning, I was even believing it. But I had to go back and watch that Surviving R. Kelly again, because I knew something just didn't seem right. Like, I have never seen something that was put out to somebody and they did nothing right. Like, everything in Surviving R. Kelly was demonizing R. Kelly. You mean to tell me there was nobody who said not one good thing? And that's impossible. All right, even Charles Manson did something good in his life. Even Charles Manson have, right? So I just don't understand why we even fell for that at the time. But it was new, and people were captivated by the story, and the Me Too movement came out, and it was scandal, and it was good juicy stuff. But as you think about it, and as you sit up there and look at it and analyze it, you realize, damn, this shit don't sound right. So I'm going to put this up. And this is a collage that I put together. I did put this together because it was the truth. Okay? Now, in that video that Gerald Gris was talking about, he want to talk to his daughter without nobody around. That's up to your daughter. That has nothing to do with R. Kelly. R. Kelly was already away. There is nobody. There is no camp. There is no camp that's watching them while he's away. Because if that was the case, think about it, people. If that was the case, Asriel would not have be home with her parents or gone or posing nude on Instagram now. You know what I'm saying? She still would be in the spotlight with her. You get what I'm saying? There's nothing holding Joycelyn. Joycelyn is just like this. You embarrassed her. She loved them. There was no reason for that. She's angry. She's not forgiving. Maybe if they stop coming forward, because just last month or a month and a half ago, they came forward because someone in the family had passed away and they wanted her at the funeral. So they went to TMZ. Maybe if they stopped doing that, maybe their daughter would try to talk to them. Maybe if you stop embarrassing her, maybe she'll start talking to you. But you put her man away on accusations saying that she was hostage. And they did all these welfare checks, and she's not hostage. Now, here's the thing what people is not paying attention to. When the police went and did a welfare check, and they asked them questions, and they're legal, why is that not respected? Nobody is asking those questions. If the police came multiple times, do a welfare check, they still alive, 2-3 years later, they still alive, she's still alive and well and everything else. Obviously, there's no suicide pact. Obviously, that was a lie. Obviously. So, what is the issue now? Not, R. Kelly still holding her hostage. The man was found guilty on all counts. He was in jail 2 years prior to his trial. There is nobody there holding him back. He don't have the money to pay nobody because he can't sign nothing because he in jail. If you are in jail, and I want people to think like this. Think of this logically. Not because you dislike him or not, but just really think logically here. Use your common sense. Don't think at the surface level. Never be a surface level thinker over here. Think logically, because people get their feelings in things, and that's what messes up everything. If you are in jail and you're trying to get out, especially if you're a megastar, your first priority, and you was already found guilty of some things, but even before you were found guilty, you in jail. Your first priority is to try to get your hell out of jail. That's your first and main focus, is to try to get your ass out. You trying to get out to fight your case. You trying to get out. Everything that they said that had happened to them happened while he was in jail. As if he was like John Gotti and had hits out on people. We gonna get into that. Oh yes, as soon as I can, I'm gonna get into it. I can't get into it, I don't know when, because you know I'm sneaking on here. They sleep. You know I'm supposed to be gone, okay? I'm supposed to be gone to the new year, but I'm sneaking on here because I got to get this stuff out here to y'all, okay? So listen, let's take a look at this.
Hi, my name is Asriel Clary. Hi, my name is Jocelyn Savage. Sorry. Philippe is playing with his squeaky, so if you hear that, that's what's in the background. But we actually just read an article saying that we were evicted from the Trump, and saying that, you know, we were under emergency living and all kinds of stuff like that. We just wanted to let you guys know that that is not true.
So they letting you know that they're fine. All right. Now, when she was with R. Kelly, this is what she was looking like. When she left R. Kelly, this is what she's posing like. People, pay attention. When she was with R. Kelly, she was fully dressed, looking like a young lady. Now look, when she left home, this is what she doing. And posing with a gun and a thong. And no hating on her. But if you are a victim of something, this is not maybe the image you want to put out here. Think about it, people. Because a lot of y'all was fooled. A lot of you guys were fooled about this whole thing. And you were fooled because you were not using common sense. Not common sense. Okay? And it happens. It happens. Because everybody can easily be fooled. Everyone. Everyone can easily be fooled, because the thing is, you want to believe them. But sometimes you got to let the story marinate some to see if story's going to change, to see if it makes sense. When something's fresh in your head and it's brand new and the people playing on your sympathy and empathy and emotion, you can automatically just believe the girls. But as you stop and we 2-3 years in, you'll be thinking to yourself, their asses was lying and this man's sitting in the cell. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to let, step back and not pass judgment so quickly. Okay? So now that we seen that, Gerald Grizz posing with Charlamagne after all this fiasco. So why are you posing with him when you're supposed to be against R. Kelly? You shouldn't be with nobody that's accused of being a predator, right? You would think that he would be with no one that is accused of being a predator. Okay, you would think so. You would hopefully you would think so. I would hope so. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to, do none of that. Not at all. Okay, but it happened. Okay, people believed it. People want to believe it. It happened, right? And then people say, "Oh, dang, this wasn't right." So let's take a listen to what R. Kelly had to say. And this time, when you listen to what he had to say, don't listen and make fun because he in hot water and it was spicy 2 years ago. Now that he's been incarcerated 2 years, you actually can listen to what he's saying with a clear head. Let's listen again. Let's listen.
I am surprised that you agreed to do it. Why are you sitting down with us today?
I'm very tired of all of the lies. I've been hearing things and seeing things on the blogs, and I'm just tired.
What are the lies that you're hearing that disturb you most?
Oh my God, all of them. Got little girls trapped in the basement, helicopters over my house, trying to rescue someone that doesn't need rescuing because they're not in my house, handcuffing people, starving people. I have a harem, a cult. I don't even really know what a cult is, but I know I don't have one,
Have you done anything that you regret? Have you done anything wrong?
Lots of things wrong when it comes to women that I apologize, but I apologize in those relationships. At the time I was in the relationships.
Have you broken any laws when it comes to women?
Absolutely not.
The 6-part series interviewed 50 people, family members, your former tour manager, numerous women who all claim that you abused them. Yeah. Are you saying everybody in that documentary was not telling the truth about you? Everybody?
If you really look at that documentary, which I'm sure you have,
I have.
Everybody said something bad about me. Nobody said nothing good. They was describing Lucifer. I'm not Lucifer. I'm a man. I make mistakes, but I'm not a devil, and by no means am I a monster.
I'm going to name the names. Andrea Kelly, your ex-wife, Kitty Jones, Lisa Van Allen, Lisette Martinez, Geronda Pace, Faith Rogers, Asante McGee. You're saying everything they said in that documentary about you is not true.
They are lying on me.
Why would these women say the same thing about you, that you are controlling, that you are abusive, that you tell women when to eat, when to go to the bathroom, when they can sleep, where they can dress? Why would all these women tell these different stories about you if they were not true? And they don't know each other. That defies logic to me.
Right. Until you hear the explanation. You can start a rumor on a guy like me or a celebrity just like that. All you have to do is push a button on your phone and say, so-and-so did this to me. R. Kelly did this to me. And if you get any traction from that, if you're able to write a book from that, if you're able to get a reality show, then any girl that I had a relationship in the past that it just didn't work out, she can come and say the same exact thing.
Are you blaming this on social media?
I'm talking about the power of social media.
He tried to tell you. He's talking about the power of social media. He said if you can get a reality show. Interesting. It's interesting he said that. He said, if you get any traction from that, a celebrity like R. Kelly, if you get any traction from that, all you got to do is say it, put it on your phone. And we act like that's not true because everyone who accused someone of sexual assault, what have they been doing the last 2-3 years? Taking it to social media. So he was correct about that. And at the time when we seen this, we didn't analyze what he was saying because the scandal and the power of the scandal overshadowed his voice. His voice. But now I'm here tonight while my family is asleep, sneaking on here. So please get the likes up. I'm sneaking for you guys, so please get the likes up. Thank you. I appreciate it. As he tell you guys again now, because the reason why I showed you that clip was because you can now really look at it and analyze it and think clearly to know that he was telling the truth. I can feel it. Like he's telling the truth on that. If you get any traction, okay, you can get a reality show, right? But then there was one, and she said, your ex-wife. She named his ex-wife first, right? In that clipping I just showed you, did Gayle King not named his ex-wife first? Please get the likes up. I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. So let's take a look and listen to this.
On me, I was like, okay, I don't know, you R. Kelly now. I know you got a lot of girlfriends. We ain't gonna never be together, boo boo. I ran for him for 2 years, like, no ma'am, oh no, I don't want to be your girlfriend because you got about 1,500 of those. And then one day, I don't know, he just wooed me, and I looked, I was like, he cute. Okay, babe, we might be able to do this. Let me see what we working with. And it just seemed like overnight, it just turned into, and I think because we were friends first, that it was easy because I loved him as my friend. So to fall in love with your friend, it was just an easy transition. It wasn't one of those, okay, he's sending me flowers and jewelry and clothes and cars. It was like, dude, let's go to McDonald's. Let's get this little 9-piece jumping off in a Coke and talk about playing basketball. So we just had that bond. That was really, really cool. And there you go. Next thing I know, we getting married. We have our first daughter, Joanne. We go on tour. I'm knocked up again. We have Jaya. We go on tour. I'm knocked up again. We have little Robert. So our life, it just went from homeboy, homegirl, dancer, choreographer, fiance, wife. Now we got kids and nannies. We got a bus with toys and cribs and extra security. And I'm just wigging out because I'm like, how did it go from a girl on the south side getting food from a soup kitchen to R. Kelly's wife? Those 3 children that we have were out of love. So it's like we had good times, and that was my friend. And at the end of the day, I lost my friend. And it's hard to deal with. And I hope one day we'll get back.
Really? You hope one day y'all get back there? Interesting. Because that's not what she was saying on all these shows for the last 2 or 3 years. You guys believed it. You believed it. You believed that. You did not pay attention out here. See, she had ample amount of time to say she was abused by R. Kelly, because you remember, right after her divorce, not too long, but after her divorce, she starred in Hollywood Exes. She said nothing about abuse. She could have made those allegations up then. She said nothing about abuse. She said it didn't work out, but at the end of the day, she lost her friend. Her friend. That's what she said. Then in 2015-16, she never told you that she went to his party. She went to his party. Birthday party. Just a year or 2 before you claimed and start putting out rumors that he hogtied you. These are things that you need to look out for. And you believed it. You guys believed it. And I'm only here just exposing what they said. This is not my opinion. You see the videos for yourself, and it's them speaking. I'm only telling you what to look for. So then, after she did that, interview, but she went on all these shows talking about she was abused and she was finna commit suicide. And then after, so she did Surviving R. Kelly, crying her eyes out.
Come through, Facebook Live. Yes, that is my baby daddy playing in the background. What y'all thought?
Turn right to I-285 South.
Questions, you have passed my test. Happy people, yeah. Turn it, yes, them who people? Happy people. Come on, baby daddy. Other baby daddy. Dancing. Happy people. Yeah. Step in. Happy people. Oh, yeah. Not y'all.
Okay. So, I haven't forgot about Don Lemon. You're going to see how I'm connecting this shit all the way back around. So, it happens, right? So, we got him. He's still posing with Charlamagne right here. We didn't show it about how many clippings? About 3 or 4 clippings about these people, right? About these people and what they have said. Something totally different than what they came on all these medias to say. Right? Something totally different. So then we know this happened. Let's take a listen to, let me see. Let's take a listen to what do I want to post? Okay. That was that. We said the reckoning. We showed that. Oh, we showed a lot of stuff. Oh, let's show the Savages when they was at the church. Jamal Bryant's church. Oh, Lord, take a listen.
Attorney, I want you to talk about the legal hurdles that you had to go through in order to get to the point where we are now.
Well, I mean, we face a gamut of legal hurdles. First and foremost, the first question was whether or not these women were over age. And once it was determined that they were of age when they met him, we faced a host of issues. And so, like Tim said, 3 years ago when they came in my office.
Did you hear what he said? The first hurdle that we had to determine whether these women were underage or of age. And it was determined that they were of age. They were of age. This is the attorney now that's, saying he messed with underage girls. But this is what he forgot that he didn't say it. See, even attorneys can forget what they said if it's a lie. You don't understand what I'm saying? Well, let's listen.
After he called me, I first started to strategize, how can I help? Because legally there weren't too many options. But what we had to do was destroy the narrative that's been surrounding this individual and many cases like this, that these are women that no one cares for, that these are women that no one will fight for. And so we took a outside the box approach and we started to destroy the narrative. We had to convince men and women across the country to believe what was going on by taking apart the easy predation that's going on right in front of your eyes. So my hat's off to the Savages for.
Now, wait a minute. How is it that they of age, but then you say we had to destroy the narrative and change the narrative so we can have people believe the predation that's going on in front of your eyes? Wait a minute. What predation? What? Did that make sense? So you had to destroy. Okay, so let's get this together. Let's get this together. Hold on. I gotta take a swallow. Hold on. All right. Wait a minute. He said they was of age. So if they was of age, then what you need to go fucking with this man for? If they were of age, then what did you need to go fucking with him for? Then you said you had to change the narrative because now they're of age. So now we got to change the narrative. So when you changing the narrative, that's saying you had to come with a fucking lie. Let's keep it a buck, people. This spitting fire, goddammit. You mean to tell me that you had to change the narrative? That means you had to lie. That's what that means, people. That means that you had the damn lie. You had to tell a lie to get the public to believe you. What? And then you had to fool them with their own eyes and trick them. Predation. You heard him say this. You did not hear this from me. You heard it out of his mouth, and y'all believed it. Y'all believed this shit. This is what you guys believed. Could you please get the likes up? Thank you. I appreciate it. This is what you guys believed. You believed this. You believed it. You believed it. I believed it at first. When it first came out initially, I believed it. I didn't believe that he should go to jail. I just believed that he just wasn't shit as a man. And that's a lot of shit. I had boyfriends that wasn't shit as a man. That don't mean you need to go to jail because you ain't shit as a man. Hell, some of them might have thought I wasn't shit as a woman. He said he had to change the narrative. Change the narrative. But what I'm saying is, it don't matter if you did. That doesn't mean it's a crime. That's the point I'm making. If that's the case, every ex will be in jail if we felt that they wasn't shit. Every ex will be in jail. Ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends, ex will be in jail. We could just go put police reports out on our ex because you ain't treat me right. That's not how it works. When a motherfucker don't treat you right, you let it go. You let the relationship go. Simple as that. Where the hell does a crime come in at? That's all I'm saying. But then he said that. Okay.
Opening their lives. And I mean, they've taken a lot of grief, a lot of unnecessary attacks to get to the point, and threats to get to the point they are. But what we had to do was to change the minds of prosecutors, to change the minds of people in the industry, and to ultimately bring Mr. Kelly to justice. And now he's facing 4 indictments for the situations that women have always said for the last 20 years.
They didn't always say shit for the last 20 years. He said women have always said for the last 20 years. They didn't say anything for the last 20 years. 20 years ago, he was charged with child pornography. They couldn't prove that the girl in the tape was underage. She did say it wasn't her. Some other people said it wasn't her. People was lying. The whole case was thrown out. It wasn't even social media to intervene back then. Now we have the Me Too Time's Up movement. They got around the statute of limitations, and they got around double jeopardy clause and all this and that. So they charged him with some other charges and then went back to charge him with a charge that they could have charged him for 2001 had they had a case. Because when he went to trial the last time, Aaliyah had just died. And yet, they didn't even charge with her. They didn't even charge him about her then. So why wait 20 years later to do it? It doesn't make sense. She can't even talk about something it was bribery. And then, but you ain't talk about the bribery. Your bribery claim fell apart during trial, which we had the infamous Sylvia got the transcript. Shout out to her. And we read that on her channel. They went to the courthouse and they took notes and everything. And pretty much different bloggers went there to take notes. And they pretty much was saying the same thing when it came to Demetrius Smith testifying. And then he went on the stand and said that it wasn't robbed at all. So your bribe case fell apart, but then you start showing marriage licenses that wasn't validated and wasn't stamped, and they couldn't really get it because she was underage and there was an ID. And then you had a pastor saying, well, I married him and signed it, but the marriage wasn't even valid and all this and that. So, and then it was annulled. We have this thing called annulment, which means nothing never happened. It's a legal term and it's binding, and you have to go to court to get it. So if the court annulled it and the judge didn't say you were too old at this time to even marry her, you need to go to jail then what the hell are we doing here? Because the judge ain't, because it seemed like to me, if I was a judge, this is how I know some shit ain't right in the game. I don't know what it is, but I'm telling you, somebody feet stank. Listen. If you go into in the chambers or in a courthouse and you say, I want to get annulled, I'm looking as a judge, I'm looking at, okay, you want to get annulled. And back in the day, used to be a time where if you want to annul me, you couldn't consummate the marriage, which means you couldn't do the do, right? I don't know how it is today, but they want an annulment. If she's 15 and you 27, why didn't the judge sentence him to jail then? Somebody feet stain. Something ain't right. Somebody needs some gold bonds. Something ain't right. Something ain't right, y'all. Something ain't right with this damn picture, y'all. There's a lot of things that I wanted to say that I didn't because of the trial, but fuck it. As I leave, I'm going out with a bang. Something ain't right. Why wouldn't the judge during the annulment say you were too old to marry her, you shouldn't have been with her, you going to jail, and had the bailiff take them? They have the authority to do so. Why? And why didn't you guys ask those questions? Doesn't make sense. Somebody feet stain. Okay? But then he said they had to change the narrative. Right? They had to change the narrative. But I didn't tell y'all the kicker of everything. No, I didn't. I didn't show y'all the kicker of everything. I didn't. Did I tell you guys that this is him, Gerald Griggs, the one right here that we're talking about, and her and her okay, you see this? All these pictures around him? Hold on. Okay. You see all the pictures around him? His face in the middle? Okay, see how I positions all the pictures? You see how I positioned them? Okay, I wanted them three center mass. You see how I got his picture on the side of him, her picture underneath him, and on the other side of him, right? Now I told y'all he was part of the NAACP in Georgia. Also the attorney for the Savages. So he's already an attorney, a civil rights attorney for the NAACP. Now, Kenyette is the woman at the bottom, and Aroniki is the woman at the top with her hand up. They went around to change the narrative on R. Kelly to stop him from working, even before he was arrested. Violation of his due process. They found out his venue tours, and they said that he was trafficking young women and predator. He was a predator of young women and all this and that, and holding them against their will. They said all kinds of things that has not been proven at that time, and it wasn't even an investigation at that time. They haven't even arrested him at that time. So they stopped him from making a living, which is your constitutional right. You know, you have the right to do that, your due process. So I'm like, wow. So these two together, they're called Mute R. Kelly. They're called Mute R. Kelly. This is what Mute R. Kelly is. They're the Mute R. Kelly founders. But guess who else was the Mute R. Kelly founder? Gerald Griggs. He was the third person of the Mute R. Kelly founder. How is a civil rights attorney part of an organization that say Mute R. Kelly to help people violate someone's constitution and civil rights, and he's a civil rights attorney? And how's he going to be down with something called Mute R. Kelly prior to R. Kelly being arrested? This doesn't make sense to me. Like, how are you down with the NAACP and you are down with you 1/3 of the organization Mute R. Kelly? So this wasn't. You said the parents had came to you. No, you got a 501(c) around R. Kelly. You made a lot of money behind the name R. Kelly. Y'all believe this. Y'all believe this shit. I know. It make you mad after you think about it. Well, it would make me mad. Some people don't care. But it would make me mad. I'm the type of person, you lie to me, you fool me, I hear this shit, I didn't know this shit, and this shit come out, I go off. Because one thing I don't like is to be lied to. That's the one thing I don't like. I do not like to be lied to. That's not cool. That's not cool. Yeah, he's part of Mute R. Kelly. So let's get this straight. You the NAACP, you the attorney for the NAACP, you the vice president for the Georgia branch. You help violate someone's civil rights, and you a civil rights attorney, and you got a 501(c). You 1/3 owner of that 501(c) that accept donations. Interesting. Very interesting. That's interesting. Okay? That's interesting. Right? That is interesting. I'm just keeping it a buck with you. That's interesting. Because I'm like, wait a minute. It's different if they just had him as an attorney, as the parents. Honey, he is Mute R. Kelly. He is down with Mute R. Kelly. Right? So we forgot about this letter that Aaliyah's mother wrote. Okay? We forgot about this letter. And for those of you who probably can't see it, I can read it to you. It's a direct quote from Aaliyah's mother, the woman who's so-called backup singer in the forthcoming surviving R. Kelly documentary that's described seeing, meeting, or ever breathing the same air as my daughter, Aaliyah, is lying and is a liar, because the young lady claimed that she's seen R. Kelly and Aaliyah have sex on a tour bus. My husband and I were always on tour with her, and interviews in every place she went throughout her entire career. Whomever this woman is, I have never seen her before anywhere on planet Earth until now. These lies are fabricated, cannot be tolerated, and are allowed to be spewed from the forked tongues of the saboteurs of Aaliyah's legacy. My daughter only wants to realize her dream of sharing her talent with the world, and gave all of her performing on stage and in front of the camera for the fans she adores so much. She realized that dreams thinks to those true fans who still love and support her legacy unconditionally to this day. Shame of all those involved in this project who thought it's kosher to drag Aaliyah's name into a situation that has nothing to do with her today. Once again, this will not be tolerated. Sincerely, Diane Harden. So when she put this out here, people said she lied. Now I'm thinking to myself, as a mother, I'm a mother. Many of you are mothers. Many of you have sons. Many of you have daughters. You have both. You mean to tell me, you want to tell me that you love my daughter more than I do? I mean, this type of mother. There are some mothers out there that just, but this month, we talking about this mother. We're talking about this mother. We're talking about this mother right here. This mother. Interesting. This mother, not anybody mother, but this particular mother right here. This particular mother. And y'all called her a liar and everything. Just disrespect the woman's legacy. Just disrespect her daughter's legacy. Disrespect her mom. If you respect Aaliyah, you will respect her mom. Y'all disrespected her mother when y'all said her mother was lying, because there was a video that Aaliyah did, and it's on YouTube. You can check it out, because everything I'm not going to do for you, you can do yourself, where she indicated that her parents went everywhere she went. She said that. Aaliyah, there's a video out there on YouTube where Aaliyah is, quote, saying that her mother and father went everywhere she was, and she was alive then. She was alive. This is what you guys have to understand. I'm not trying to persuade you to think one way or the other. I'm just trying to get you the damn truth out their mouths, not out of minds. So you can get what was been shared and trying to be shared with you guys without the interference of your emotion. Get your emotion out of it. And just think logic here. Just think logic. Basic law. Because if it's that easy for somebody to put something on you and you go to jail and they're saying something on social media contrary to what they're telling the prosecutor, it's a problem. especially when they're using social media. I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm just keeping it a buck. But then what about something else? What about something totally different? Let's take a listen to something, right? Let's take a listen to something. Let me see if I got this. Hold on. Oh no, we ain't talking about them. They probably from another time. We on the Savages right now. We on the Savages. Okay? We're on the Savages. Because it's crazy. Let me see. Let's take a listen. Let's take a listen to them. Let's go back and take a listen to them. The beginning. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but when I was coming up, people often told me that your first mind is your godly mind. A lot of times when your first thought come in your head, it's the truth sometimes. Or when you speak something the first time is normally the truth. That's what I was taught. But look, take a listen and pay attention to how emotional they are today at this point. This is the point to where they were screaming to the world to listen to them, and R. Kelly was too. This is where they were stressed the most. Now that everything almost 3 years in, it don't have to be this way. So let's take a look now, because now I believe the majority of you out there, the naysayers, now I believe that you can now grasp what it is that we've been saying for 2 or 3 years. See, when we were saying it at the beginning, it's easy not to believe us because you were believing mainstream media. But now that he's been locked up almost 3 years and you hearing it for yourself and it died down, and now you can actually hear what they said out their own mouths. Not what I said, not what no other blogger have said, not what even the media has said, but what you heard them say out your mouths. And these are the people who framed him and set him up. They did both. This orchestrated all this for his riches. And people say, oh, he was rich. I mean, he was broke, but he's not our broke. You got to understand, rich people broke is not the same as our broke. The man wrote so many hits, he would never be completely broke, like Bologna Sandwich broke. You know, instead of living in a $10 million house, he can only live in $1 million house. You know, that type of broke. That's broke the rich people. We impoverished the regular working class to their asses. Okay? So I want people to understand that, because I don't think people understand that. Okay? I don't think people understand that. But let's, and people saying a whole lot of other things out here on these internet streets. I don't even want to get into beef with nobody, but a lot of these bloggers out here saying stuff that I totally disagree with. Totally. But I digress, okay? That's them.
Relationship, or do you each have a separate relationship with him? How does this work?
Well, both
I'm
of
curious.
those. Yeah, we both have our individual relationships with him, and we all are family all together. We have our moments where we sit and watch movies all together. We go to amusement parks all together.
I'm not talking about Azrael going to movies and sitting and watching, going to parks. I'm talking about, is it a three-way sexual relationship?
Sexually? Well, first of all, I'm not here to talk about my personal life, and I would never share with no one what I do in or outside of the bedroom. And as a woman, I'm sure you would not either.
Yes. No, I wouldn't, but
okay then.
No, you're
next
right.
question.
No, you're right. I would not, but this is a very different circumstance.
It's not a different circumstance. There are people all over the world who have multiple girlfriends. It's no different.
Do both of you all believe you're in love with him?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Of course.
Should your parents be concerned?
No.
Why?
Well, my parents knew where I have always been for 4 years. They have known. They know that I've been well taken care of.
They never thought you were missing, Azrael. They just were wondering if you were okay.
Well, my parents have actually came to Chicago and seen me a few times. I've talked to them. They stopped answering my calls.
You know what they say? They say that you were brainwashed. I talked to your dad last night. He says, my daughter is brainwashed, and he's very concerned. He said he was here 2 days ago and you wouldn't even look him in the eye.
Okay, I wouldn't look him in the eye because he's a liar, and he's a manipulative liar.
I'll tell you why they're concerned, Azrael, because they say she's 17. We found text messages that indicated that she was having sex with R. Kelly when she was 17. Is that true?
No, that is a lie. That is a lie. I was not having sex with him at 17.
Why would they want to lie about you, their daughter?
Okay, so when I first met Robert, my parents told me to lie about my age. So when I met him, he thought that I was 18. On top of that, when I was 17, my parents were actually making me, trying to get me to take photos with him, take sexual videos with him, all kinds of stuff.
Wait. Your parents encouraged you to do sexual videos with R. Kelly?
Yes. And they said because if they ever have to blackmail him, what they're trying to do now, they can use it against him, which is exactly what they're doing.
Joycelyn, I see you nodding a lot with what she's saying. Why are you nodding in agreement with what she's saying?
Because everything that she's saying is true. Our parents are basically out here just to get money, and
your parents. You're saying the same as saying.
Well, both of our parents are basically out here. They're trying to get money and scam because they didn't agree on what happened, you know, with music or wherever it could be, and they're just very upset.
This is the first time hearing, to be honest with you, that your parents are trying to get money from R. Kelly.
Okay.
Because your father told a very different story to me
well,
last night.
Yeah, he's the manipulative. He's very manipulative, so he's the one you need to watch out for. But my dad and my mom, they started to send threats to both me and him. They said, oh, I'll put all your naked pictures all over the world. I'm going to ruin you. I'm going to ruin him. If he doesn't send $20,000 to this bank account by Monday, oh, I'm going to put everything out there and then $10,000 after that. You're trying to solicit me like I'm some hoe. I'm not. I'm your child.
I trust my daughter will be honest with us. And this was strictly her music. R. Kelly had a platform as big as music could ever give somebody. I didn't see the label stop supporting him.
And you told me that you saw him working with other young women.
Yes.
Last week, Kelly blamed Azriel's parents for their own estrangement.
What kind of father, what kind of mother will sell their daughter to a man?
3 months before Azriel turned 18, the Clarys signed a letter giving their consent for her to go on Kelly's tour and stay with a woman named Valerie Janice Payton. Who is Valerie Payton?
It ain't R. Kelly. It's not Robert Kelly.
But does she work with R. Kelly?
She's supposed to work for the label. We found out later on that she works for R. Kelly.
But at the time you signed this, you thought she was...
He told us it was someone affiliated with the music label.
From Sony.
Okay.
Correct.
So you thought she would be a chaperone for your daughter.
That's what she was supposed to be.
Okay.
And
I should have saw different signs. I should have saw the change in my baby girl.
How do you think this story is going to end with your daughter?
How I want to see it end, I want to see my daughter leave.
Of course, but are you concerned about how it could end? Or you...
I've heard like a suicide pact. You know, I know my daughter...
A suicide pact?
Yes, I've heard all kinds of stuff. So, you know,
That gives me chills, Alice.
It should give you chills.
It
because
does.
The difference is our daughter had experience with trying to do it. See, everybody else can talk it, but it's nothing like seeing a father coming in the house and seeing your daughter submerged in water and you have to pick her up and try to get her to the hospital. So I've been through that. So while everybody else may take this lightly and, oh, they just throwing something out there, it's real life for us.
So the other day when I did that video,
Did you say they're very concerned? You saw it?
Now when you see this, you sound like you feel for them. You know, you feel like the media is telling you the truth. They put it together so well. You all in for it, and they won you over, right? They won you over, right? Okay. Now let's stop and take a look. Let's stop and break this down, okay? She said 3 months before she turned 18, she signed her over with a woman named Valerie Payton. They didn't know who Valerie Payton was. So it doesn't matter if they allowed her to go with R. Kelly or Valerie Payton. The fact is, they didn't know who none of these people were. And then she says, well, she tried to commit suicide over another boy that was her age. She literally tried to kill herself. I need y'all to hear me what I'm saying. With someone that was her age. Yet, 3 months just before she legal, all this hurrah. Does that make sense to y'all? That don't make no damn sense to me. And it don't, to this day, it still don't make no sense to me. So, here is another point that I want to make, right? So, you heard Azriel say some things, right? You heard Azriel say, you know, her mother tried to, you know, extort money from R. Kelly. You heard her say things like, what else she said? She said her mother tried to extort money from R. Kelly. They're going to expose him. They're going to put all her business out there and all that kind of stuff. Well, I can't even show y'all this one, but I'm going to show y'all this. Hold on. Let me see if I can get the petition picture, because I can't even show. I don't know. I always forget about that. Okay, let me see if I got the thing up here. Okay, nope, I don't have the thing up here either. Okay, it's on the picture on my petition where she pretended to be Azriel. Okay, she pretended to be Azriel. All right, she pretended to be Azriel. The mother did, and Azriel testified to that under oath. Okay, Azriel testified that her mother pretended to be her when she was talking to R. Kelly. When they first met R. Kelly, she was pretending that she was Azriel and everything else. And they were telling Azriel how to dress. So the very thing that Azriel said to Gayle King at the beginning, originally, was the same thing she testified to in trial. Many of you guys don't know that. Many of you guys don't know that. She testified to that during trial. And that's what the media didn't come out and tell you. Before she did this last interview with her a few months back, post-trial. Okay? Because everybody now, because he convicted, trying to make money off his name. Right? After they tarnish it, they're trying to make money. Because you got to think like this. Andrea Kelly tell you that she was hogtied. She's the ex-wife. Yet she want to keep his last name. Why would you want to keep a last name of a man that everyone's saying is a predator? If you like underage girls, why all of them had testified that they lied about their age? If you like underage girls, what would you need to lie about your age for? Nobody still hasn't answered that question that I've been asking for 3 years. Been asking these questions for 3 years and nobody still asked me. Not even the opposition. Nobody answered that damn question. What they do is just sit up there and say some crazy shit, but they don't ask that question, right? So then, now the problem I have with all of this too is that everybody that seems to be in this situation, a lot of the people, I say not 100%, but a good 80% of the people that is down with this framing of R. Kelly and the takedown of him, 80% of them have criminal records. 80% of them have criminal backgrounds. Okay? 80% of them have criminal backgrounds. All right? So when R. Kelly, when R. Kelly was arrested and they needed to find witnesses, remember? Kim Fox said you have to come forward. It took 2 years because they couldn't find witnesses. So we all on YouTube. And they put people out here so they can form a storyline. And they did just that. A crazy ass storyline. And my thing is, R. Kelly has been locked up for a year when the girl car got set on fire, and somehow they tied that to him. So that means what is the federal government, and yet even after the girl car supposed to have got set on fire, and they tied that to him, ask yourself, was there security detail? Was they offer witness protection? Nope. But they want you to believe that though. Huh? Why wasn't there no witness protection then? Why no security around this girl or at her outside her house? This girl traveling all over the world. Gotta ask yourself these questions. Gotta ask yourself. And just so happened the guy that set the car on fire is her daddy's mistress girlfriend. How is it that one minute she's supposed to be R. Kelly publicist, the next minute she the daddy girlfriend? How did that work? How are you supposed to say your daughter missing and you interacting with people in the man, whatever. I'm just done with that. I'm done with these crazy ass people. These people crazy as hell. So getting back to Gerald Griggs taking the picture with Charlamagne the God and everything, and how I started off with Don Lemon, and I asked you about Don Lemon. I said, when they want to go at a heterosexual man, they sit up here and they use gay LGBT as a weapon to assassinate his character, to bring him down, to slander him, and particularly black men. And it was so funny because as long as R. Kelly was, free, and they talk about these rumors been around for 30 years, there wasn't no rumors of boys or men involved in that rumor. There was no same-sex allegation or rumors until they found 2 boys to be in that. And when y'all listen to the transcript, you guys will shake your head. You can just, how something just such a lie, it's like, it's such a lie, it's like air. You know what I mean? Like you just breathe air, right? It's like, it's that given. Like water is wet, fire is hot, and air you breathe. It's just that much of a lie, It's like, it's a lie that I don't have to even prove it's a lie. That's their testimony. Like, really? You know what I mean? And people say, well, why did they find him guilty? Well, if you got a judge that's beating in you 3 hours, okay, beating it into you 3 hours in favor of the prosecution, and you go home, you sequester until to deliberation, then you go home. The world already think this man is guilty because of what they see on the media and old rumors. What they see in the media and old rumors, they already believe he's guilty. People is not going to set him free and knowing that they the ones that was on trial. I mean, this wasn't even about truth. It was about, okay, we'll give y'all what y'all want and we just want to go. And then after so long of listening to people's lies for so long, you will give people what they want just so you can go home. That's problematic. That's problematic, people. Especially when you have people there for months at a time. People, after so long, you want to be on a case. But after you 2.5 weeks in, you be ready to go home. Like, I'm tired of this stuff now. I'm tired of sitting there 10 hours listening to stuff over and over again. You get tired and overwhelmed. And then you got a judge giving you 3 hours instruction. You can tell how heavy she swayed the jury, right? And it happens because they want to go home. They want to go home. And then how can you get a fair trial when a documentary, not one but 2, a watch party, and the whole media turned against you in the favor of alleged accusers? How could you get a fair trial? How could you? You couldn't. I don't even think they should have. And then when they was talking in the indictments, the first thing they said is they had 5 minutes from the time of an indictment to make arrest. Well, they would have had another 2 years from this date. They should have took all that time. They should have took all that time. I'm just keeping it a buck. They should have taken all that time. So then, wrap it up. I get back to the Don Lemon. I want to show you guys this about how they use gay slander to weaponize people. And this is not about what you think. This is not about what you believe or whatever. If you ask somebody a question, they say they're not. You need to respect that. People need to stop calling people gay because of the way they dress or whatever else, because the simple fact is, or they clean or all this and that. If you say they're not, they're not. But this is the same thing that they did to R. Kelly, because everything was bad about him. He manipulated young girls. He manipulated women. He was gay too. They just threw everything at this man. And y'all believed it. Let's take a listen at this. Shout out to Vlad TV. This is Vlad TV.
And there was a video where you were online, and it somehow kind of cut to a scene of a man. There was a man sleeping in bed, and then it cut back, and I don't know. It just doesn't really make sense to me at all. So maybe you could explain that video and kind of clear it all up.
Okay, but before I do that, I'm going to just say, I said this the other day, and what problem do these people have with somebody being gay? I mean, I've said it last night. The LGBTQ community, y'all are on the clock, because the sheer amount of gay bashing, gay innuendos, gay slurs, hate speech against gays, why is that allowed to persist? Why is that allowed to persist against me? If you want to say that I'm gay, then is that not out of bounds? Is that not a protected group? So the people who keep saying these things, I'm asking, where's the LGBTQ community in this whole thing? Or is it okay when it's a heterosexual man and it's being used as a gay slur? So you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. So you're gonna have to pick. So by them writing that article, by them doing all this other kind of stuff, they've injected something else. They did the same thing to Kwame Brown yesterday. Kwame Brown was liked by certain people, but then all of a sudden something didn't happen the way they wanted to, and all of a sudden start throwing gay stuff at him. This happens too often to black men. The destruction of the black male image because you're saying something that they don't like.
And that is the truth. That is the truth. The destruction of the black man's image. Because we never heard of no gay stuff with R. Kelly. We never heard of that. Those two John Does came out the clear blue sky. As a matter of fact, they wasn't even in Surviving R. Kelly. But you believed it. But you believed it. You believed it. So when is it okay? The same thing Jussie Smollett did with the gay slurs and the racial stuff and all this and that, and Don Lemon gave him heads up. He gay, he doing this and that. But what do they do when it's a heterosexual man they try to take down? They attack his sexuality. Beat it down beneath it. And this woman in the corner, Tasha K, played a very significant role in the takedown of R. Kelly. because she was one of the first bloggers they went to. And earlier this year, she had to recant a lot of her stories. And she know that they pulled off the biggest framing ever. But then they had a falling out, the parents and her. But she hate R. Kelly. Why? Well, I'm going to give you an example. She say because she was raped. They ain't got nothing to do with R. Kelly because he didn't do that. You ain't going after your rapist as hard as you went after R. Kelly. Why you hate him so much? Because here's the thing. She got to keep that up. She got 1 million subscribers and she didn't put all this information out only to fall out with the parents, only to lie. Find out that they're lying. Once you tell a lie, you got to keep that shit going. You got to keep that going. And please, you guys, I am aware of the opposition's channels. Right here, this is Spittinfire. You understand? So you got to keep that going. Once you tell it, you got to keep it going. She told 1 million people. Who wants to seem incompetent after you done bashed this man for 2 years straight, only to find out that they were lying to you? They assassinated this man and we helped them beyond belief. Never was a gay rumor about him. Now they found some John Does. This is how easy they can do it. They use the LGBT as a weapon against you when they want to. And they was like, oh, she was 17. And Gayle King, they said that you were having sex with him at 17. She believes it. Of course, she believes every man who's charged with a sexual assault. She believes every woman because, you know what I'm saying? She believes every woman, okay, that's accused a man of sexual assault. Well, y'all need to ask Gayle King, do she believe the woman that accused Oprah Winfrey dad of sexual mishap back in 95? Ask her, did she speak the same way about Vernon Winfrey as she did R. Kelly and Bill Cosby? Ask her. Right, CBS? Oh, y'all forgot about that, huh? Yeah, she ain't credible either. And then she said these rumors was going on forever. Remember when she was talking to R. Kelly and they had the interview I just showed y'all moments back? Well, what about the rumors about you and Oprah being gay? Those rumors was going on forever too, Gayle. Do you understand where I'm coming from, you guys? The media is not credible when it comes to not only black men, but men, period, when it comes to these women liberations movements. Me Too, Time's Up, Emily's List, Black Lives Matter. All this stuff has to stop. We got to get rid of the movements. They are no good for this culture. They are 5013Cs to just make a buck and to get a healthy salary. I don't even see Tarana Bird. She came out back in the summer, and that was only because Kwame Brown had Jessica Reed's mother on this channel, and the shit went viral. This is what had happened. This is what had happened. We believe that shit. As crazy as it sounds, we believe it. So the attorney, and this speaks volume, the attorney that took Bill Cosby case and got his conviction overturned has joined forces to take R. Kelly's case. Fair use? Fair use? 1976 Copyright Act, Section 107.
Care about a fair fight, right? They be creative. They're probably thinking, hey, however way the government could do it, they finally did, and it's done. I don't care. Explain why it matters to everyone ultimately that we essentially, there's a checks and balances when it comes to prosecution.
Yeah, that's right. And I can appreciate that there's emotions that run high, and people don't necessarily value how the government goes about getting what they consider to be justice. But when the government runs amok, right now it's R. Kelly, tomorrow it's somebody else. And maybe it's someone you care about tomorrow. Maybe it's a loved one of yours. To keep the government honest and to keep them in check, the system has to work for all of us. The R. Kellys of the world, the Bill Cosbys of the world, and then people that we don't even know. And so my job is to make sure the government does it the fair way. And if they didn't do it fair, it just doesn't count. It's like if you cheat during a football game and you want to declare victory, you can't because you cheated. And it is my job to hold the government responsible and to hold their feet to the fire. And I believe that was not done. It hasn't been done, but we're hoping to do it.
Okay, that was her in the R. Kelly case, right? That was her in the R. Kelly case. And she said, she's hoping that, she can bring the government to answer some questions, right? So let's take a listen to part 2 of that.
Counselor, happy to have you on the show. Welcome.
Wait a minute. Let me see if is this part.
Thank you for having me, Yodi.
I'm going to see if this is the longer version. Hold on.
Okay, Jennifer, so I'm going to start this conversation by asking you the most obvious question, one I'm sure you get all the time. Why would you defend R. Kelly?
I approach every case the same way. And I look and I say, has there been a miscarriage of justice? And in my mind, a miscarriage of justice occurs when the government oversteps, when they overreach, when they violate someone's constitutional right to a fair trial. And then I ask myself, is there anything I can do about it? Can I possibly get this individual some type of remedy, some type of relief? And when I looked at R. Kelly's case, I found that both of those things were true. And so I had no reservations about taking R. Kelly's case. What I see was a travesty of justice and how the process worked. And when the process doesn't work, the outcomes are not fair, they're not righteous. And as a result, I took R. Kelly's case. And I pass on cases, but this is a case that I felt satisfied both of those requirements.
That speaks volume. That speaks volume. A woman who just got Bill Cosby case overturned because the legal system didn't work. It was a travesty of justice, what she said. And she took his case, and without a doubt, with what she seen, she took it. She said she normally pass on cases like this. And this is a woman who, on the federal level. But she said when she seen this case, oh yeah, I'm taking this one. She believes she can give him some sort of remedy. Interesting. That is interesting, people. That is something that you guys need to take heed to. That is something that you guys need to take heed to what she said. You need to take heed to what she said. Okay? Need to take heed and understand what it is that Jennifer Bongine just said there. She normally don't even take the cases. It's hard for her to take a case. She said, but if she do, she asks herself certain questions. And without hesitation, I'm going to play that again.
Counselor, happy to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Yodi.
Okay, Jennifer, so I'm going to start this conversation by asking you the most obvious question, one I'm sure you get all the time. Why would you defend R. Kelly?
I approach every case the same way. And I look and I say, has there been a miscarriage of justice? And in my mind, a miscarriage of justice occurs when the government oversteps, when they overreach, when they violate someone's constitutional right to a fair trial. And then I ask myself, is there anything I can do about it? Can I possibly get this individual some type of remedy, some type of relief? And when I looked at R. Kelly's case, I found that both of those things were true. And so I had no reservations about taking R. Kelly's case. What I see was a travesty of justice and how the process worked. And when the process doesn't work, the outcomes are not fair, they're not righteous. And as a result, I took R. Kelly's case. And I pass on cases, but this is a case that I felt satisfied both of those requirements.
She had no reservation on taking R. Kelly's case. None. Damn. Is it that much misjustice up in there? That's sad. That's sad as hell. I think we as a black community need to start educating ourselves a little bit more about the law. You know, I'm going to tell y'all something before I get out of here. And it's something that you may know, or even if you know some things, sometimes we have to be reminded. So I'm not talking at you, I'm reminding you, okay? I don't want nobody thinking I'm talking at them like they're a kid. I'm reminding you, okay? Just reminding you. Make sure you get involved in the government. Rather it be something small as in the schools where you live. If you live in a black neighborhood, get all the parents involved. Go to the community meetings. Go to the parent-teacher conferences and get involved. Make them have their school district like it is in the suburbs. Because once you start getting involved and coming up there constantly, not just on your child, but the way that they are teaching your kids and what they're teaching your kids, right? And you're going to wonder how this got something to do with R. Kelly, but just pay attention to me right quick. Once you start doing that, you start educating and building your community. Start getting involved in the law. Start caring about your stores being open at 2 o'clock. If they're not doing it out there in the suburbs, don't let them do it in your neighborhood. Because there's a reason why they don't do it out there. Stop allowing them to have drug stores on every corner. Start protesting that. They don't do it out there. Don't let them do it where you live. You understand? This is a way where you start to gain respect as a culture. This is a way you start getting cultural obligation. You understand? Start off small. Start with the school district. Start getting involved. Even if you don't never go up there. If you've never been up to your child's school or a grandkid's school, and you never went to a PTA meeting and you never went to a community meeting, start going. Start going. Start going. And you know, once this COVID thing is over with, hopefully. But start getting involved. And then start getting involved with the stores opening and the times the stores are opening. Start changing that. They don't need to be open until 12, 1, and 2 o'clock in the morning. It ain't nothing good happening that time of night. Because in the suburbs, the stores close. By 11 o'clock, they all closed. If you want to get some alcohol, you got to go to a Walmart, a 24-hour Walmart or something like that. They all close. Do that in your neighborhood. I'm telling you, you will see a change. You will see a change. You really would. You will wing out the bad. You would. Start reporting people who don't cut their grass, manicure their grass, and things like that. Start reporting them to the city. Enforce those ordinances. Because that's how they keep their neighborhood together. And I noticed that we don't. And the reason that being is because once you start caring about your surroundings and you start building your community and start caring about your surroundings, then these young boys, when they try to run stuff on them like R. Kelly or whatever, run this BS on them, they'll think twice because the community gets too much involved. This is how they get their respect, by being concerned, involved. Like when you go out there to the suburbs, they're not just going to put a Walmart up down the street because it's some land. They got to have a community meeting and the community got to vote on it. They care. And the one thing that they look for, how much traffic it's going to bring, and if it's unwanted traffic, if you know what I mean. They don't want people from the inner cities traveling out there in their neighborhood. What kind of traffic is going? Those are their number one concerns. You need to have those concerns as well. Why do we need all these stores? Why do we need them all open at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning? We seem not to care. We just seem to exist. No. Start living comfortably because it's your tax dollars. You understand? It's your tax dollars. You understand? So what we need to do, we need to make sure that they don't sit up there and just put our men away on accusations that can't be proven. So you have to slander. You have to go around to stop somebody making a living. Prior to an investigation, prior to an arrest, you have to go to social media. We have to stop all these type of things. Behavior. You have to stop that. How you do it? Well, Obama signed into law that they can use social media and propaganda to make a charge. That is going to be a problem in the black community. Now, I know many of you guys like Obama. I liked Obama too, but that was a mistake he made. And we're now suffering the repercussions of that with this R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, and everybody else. Nobody should be able to go to social media first before they go to the police and make all these charges and slander somebody's name. This is what you pay taxes for. This is why they have to investigate. They don't need to investigate if all they have to do is go to social media and slander and belittle people and all this and that. And people have to stop believing everything. I don't understand how people tell me and argue with me even about Bill Cosby. He did it. Well, it take women so long to come forward. Well, she lived a good life for 50 years. 50 whole years. That's a lifetime to some. So many people ain't even make it the first 50 years of their life. Until next time, y'all understand something. They try to take your men down with this LGBT slur. This is why I put down limit at the beginning of this commentary. Because they protect their own, but then they use it as a weapon for heterosexual men. You understand? This is what they have you thinking. They told you that Azrael was 3 months before she was 17 when she was involved with R. Kelly. That's what they told you. And I'm always keep saying this and I'm always keep showing this, right? Right? Let me see. see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find this before I close out. Cause I'ma keep saying this. Cause nobody still haven't made sense of things. I just want to make sense of stuff. I want people to be like, nah, that don't make no sense, y'all. Like, I think we were wrong for believing these damn women because this don't make no sense. I think that this Me Too Times Up stuff was so new. Propaganda was so interesting. The Surviving R. Kelly was so juicy that people forgot their common sense and lack of what it is that they were doing. You understand? And that's a problem. That is a problem. This right here, both of them are in dresses. The one with the phone in her hand is R. Kelly's ex-girlfriend Azrael, turned victim. This is the one that was talking to Gayle King. This is the one that said she didn't have sex with R. Kelly at 17. This is the one that when the parents was talking to Gayle King 3 months before she 18, they signed her over to Valerie Denise Pate. 3 months before she 18, they did all this big ass hurrah. She already graduated. She just ain't turned 18. Right? She just ain't turned 18. I want y'all to take a look at that. I'm going to take my time with this. I'm going to make it bigger so y'all know which one I'm talking about. I'm going to go back and forth. This is her, what I'm talking about. Before she turned 18, but after she graduated, they didn't have no problem with her dating R. Kelly until they couldn't get no money. But they didn't have a problem with her dating this guy right here. I'm making it bigger. Or everybody thought it was a big deal for her to date this guy right here, R. Kelly. Just 3 months before 18, and all of this big hurrah. And Gayle King thought it was the worst thing in the world for him to be with her and at 3 months before 18. She's too young. But then over here to the left, Dwayne Wade's son, right here, going up and down, y'all know that's what I'm talking about, was 9 years old, now 11, 12, transgender. Gayle King and all of you alike praise that. Praise the little black boy turn into a little girl. A heterosexual man, y'all use it as a weapon to belittle him. But then when you got one that's that way right here, you praise it. She, 3 months just before she 18, right here, she right here, can't date him, okay, 90 days early after graduation, because y'all think that's the worst thing in the world. But this young underage boy can change his whole sexual identity and y'all praise it. I need America to think about that. This girl finna be 18, grown, graduated high school, can't date an older man. But this person ain't even in middle school and can change his whole sex. Can change his whole sex, and y'all praise it. Something wrong, Black America. We were taught better than this. We did better than this. We didn't used to believe stuff like this. Not that it's against the LGBT, but we had more goddamn common sense than that. Girl, right before she turned 18, can't date an older man. But a boy young can change his whole damn sex. And y'all praise it. That's something I'm going to leave y'all, because that ain't no cultural obligation. That ain't even thinking at the surface level. That ain't even thinking at all. And yet this man is in jail. And I showed you guys how she was dressed when she was with him. And how she left and no longer with him, and what's she doing? Taking photos naked with guns and everything else. She was better and conducting herself better when she was with him. 18-year-old can't date an older man, but a 12-year-old can change his sex. I'm going to go to sleep on that, and I want y'all to think about that. Fire out.